Hi everyone, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. Today we're going to talk about the monthly flying stars for the month of April, the month of the fire dragon Bing Chen. And in Chinese metaphysics, that month goes from April 5th all the way to May 5th. So we've still got a few days, and then we are moving into the Bing Chen month. Now, in the Bing Chen month, we have a few very, very good sectors that we can utilize for all sorts of things, whether that be finance related or relationships. And then there are a few sectors that we may want to try and avoid, or at least at the very minimum, not activate or trigger too much. But let's start with the good stuff first. So, looking at the positive sectors, the one that is really, really very good is the South sector, where we have the monthly number one. Now, the number one star is traditionally called a nobleman star, and it helps with connections. Whether you want to be connected to clients, to customers, to suppliers, or to just generally helpful people, or maybe you want to connect to a mentor or find a good teacher for something, then do all of these activities from the South sector. So anything that relates to connecting to other people should be done from the South sector. It's extremely positive. Plus, we have the annual number 8 there, which is also a good star. It's a cash flow star. So whatever you're going to do in the South sector in April is actually also contributing positively to your cash flow, right? Now, whether you use this star for sales activities, PR, or going on social media and attracting new fans, or whether this is done for investment purposes, that's entirely up to you. Anything that has to do with connecting to people or also learning can be done from the South. Now, the next really good sector is the West sector, where we have the number 8. Now, the number 8 is traditionally good for cash flow, but it's cash or money from a lot of hard work. So it's working hard, not working smart. The South and the Northeast would be working smart. The West is working hard, but obviously you are going to make money from there. So if you position yourself in the West, you are likely going to have more cash flow through hard work. So more orders are coming in, more clients may be coming in, and suddenly you're going to feel like you're very, very busy. And if this is one of the issues that you're having, that you're not busy enough, or that somehow you need to attract more clients, then you can do that in the West, or just basically attracting more work. Yeah. Now, it's also a great sector if you want to work on your finances, whether that is just an annual budget or a monthly budget, or just generally look at your personal finances. Anything to do with finances or financial planning can be done from the West, and this will actually be very, very positive for you. Now, the next one that is really good is the Northeast, as I mentioned. It has the number 9 here, and the number 9 is also considered a wealth star. It's also considered a happiness star. So this one brings passion and happiness and just overall opportunities to celebrate life. Yeah. Now, if your bedroom is located here, this is excellent also for relationships. Especially if you're married, then you are going to look forward to actually very, very harmonious relationships in the month of the fire dragon. Now, if this is not your bedroom, maybe it's your office, home office, or whatever, also excellent. This is a great month if you want to look for partnerships, for example, if you want to work with other people, collaborate. Yeah, anything that has to do with teamwork, because people are coming together and maybe you're celebrating a win. This is a great sector. So anything work related will definitely, definitely benefit from being conducted in the Northeast sector. You can also use this if you are a little bit depressed, maybe you're not in a good mental state, then locating yourself in the Northeast, or even sleeping there, if you have a bedroom located there, that is even better, because that brings back hope. So the number 9 is a star of hope, and it always brings back the passion for life. And then we also have the number 4, which is in the East. And this one is both an academic star, but also peach blossom star. So we can use this for romantic purposes, but also for studying and doing research, depending on your needs, right? So if you have children who need to do homework and who need to focus or prepare for exams, then put them in the East sector and they will be able to absorb new knowledge much, much faster and better. Or if you maybe need to do some focused work or you need to concentrate or something, then the East sector is the best sector to do that from. Alternatively, you can use the South, but the East sector is better. Now, should you not be too bothered with academic pursuits or exams or homework or whatever, but maybe you're single and you're looking for someone, then locating yourself in the East sector while you are maybe reaching out to your crush or arranging for a date, then this is a great sector to be in. And you will stand higher chances of success. If this is your bedroom, even better, because then you're spending a lot of time there and you're actually going to absorb these sort of peach blossom or likability energy. So anything to do with relationships works really well in the East. Now, there are a few sectors that are not so pleasant, but it's not going to be a disaster, yes, or you don't have to be too afraid of those. One of them is the Northwest sector, where we have the monthly theft and discord and robbery star. Now, I wouldn't worry too much about this one. This is not necessarily all that bad as long as it's not being triggered. But let's say if your desk is located here, if you're working from here, you may find that you are more prone to tension and disagreements and stress this month. And so you just kind of need to work through your tension and your stress if you can. Make sure that you have plenty of time to ground yourself and don't get upset over small things, because this is the kind of energy that will trigger you with small stuff that you would otherwise not get upset about, but suddenly this month it just takes one small thing and you explode, right? So this is not what we want, obviously, especially not in a work context. Now, if this is your kitchen, if you have the stove or the kitchen in the Northwest, then just make sure that your stove is always turned off, especially if you have a gas stove, make sure that it's turned off, because there is a risk of fire hazard with this particular energy. Yeah, so just make sure that you don't put extra candles in the Northwest and that you always turn off your stove should you have one there. Now, the Southwest has the monthly number 3. Now, this is considered an argument star, and as such, most people think that this is a terrible star. We don't want to expose ourselves to it. But that, on the other hand, it also gives you the ability to negotiate for yourself. It gives you the ability to talk and stand up for yourself. So if you're a very, very shy person and you're not very comfortable in front of people, and maybe you have to prepare to give a speech or some sort of public announcement in front of people, then practicing that in the Southwest would actually be very, very good. Because basically, when you speak up, when you make a point for yourself, when you stand up for yourself, then you are expressing a contrary point of view than the other person, and that can result in arguments. It doesn't have to, but it can result in arguments. So that's why this is called the argument star. But generally, it's not that bad. Now, also, if you want to lose weight and you just can't get going and you're just like you're lacking the motivation, the more time you spend in the Southwest, the better, because this is a mobility star. This one makes you move and suddenly you feel like you need to move and you want to exercise. So it can be used for good stuff. And then we've got the number 2 is in the North. That's the illness star of the month. Now, the illness star can bring an increased risk of illness, but it doesn't have to be anything bad. Yeah. So maybe you get more migraines than usual, maybe you get the cold, or maybe you get a stomach bug or something like this, but it's not necessarily anything bad. And all of these things can be prevented by just using common sense, right? And on top of that, I would say if you are generally a healthy person, if you have a healthy lifestyle, I would not worry about this too much at all. Now, the time you want to avoid the number 2 is when you are already suffering from a chronic illness, or maybe you are just coming out of the hospital and you're now recuperating at home. Then I would say don't do that in the North sector this month if you can avoid it, because the healing process will just take a little bit longer. It's also not a great sector to be in for pregnant women or for small infants or for elderly people who may indeed suffer from chronic illnesses. Yeah, but anybody else shouldn't be too worried about this particular energy. And if you do belong to one of these risk groups, then just remove yourself from this area if you can. And then lastly, we have the number 5. The number 5 is usually a star that can bring a lot of obstacles and unpleasant events. So we try to minimize kind of activity that is noisy or groundbreaking, like hammering, drilling, putting a pin into the wall. All of these things should be avoided in the southeast sector. Now, if you have your bedroom there, you don't have to worry too much unless you're actually moving around furniture and you're doing some renovation work. Then obviously this will be triggered. But if this is just your bedroom and you're just gonna do what you always do there for an entire month, that is absolutely fine. That will not trigger this negative energy at all. Yeah, so you don't have to worry. Um, I would not advise to be there for any sort of financial planning this month, yeah, because you have the 5 and the annual number 3 there, and this can lead to sort of reckless spending or losses due to some sort of carelessness or you're overlooking some details. So don't do any financial transactions in the southeast if you can avoid it. Try to also avoid sort of important meetings, signing contracts, for example, because you're likely going to overlook a detail and that can then cause problems later on. So, but other than that, just, as long as you leave this sector fairly quiet, no groundbreaking, no moving around of furniture, hammering, drilling, and all of these things, you should be fine and you don't have to worry. All right, so we do have a few really, really good sectors. Make use of those in the month of the fire dragon. And I hope that it is a successful month for you and that you achieve all the goals that you have set for yourself. So if you have any questions, as always, just put them in the comments below or just email me directly. My email address is in the notes to this video. And I'd really appreciate it if you could just smash that like button, give me a thumbs up, share the video with anybody who may find this useful, and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.